Time to start.
Live from the seedy part of YouTube that makes you feel all tingly in those nether regions. It's the Zankoku Tenshi Show. The show that is so amateurish it makes Pee-wee football look like the NFL. And now, your host, the man, the myth, the loser, Zankoku Tenshi.
Hello, everybody. It is I, Zankoku, and welcome to the Zankoku Tenshi Show, the show where I just talk about stuff and maybe someone in the chat asks me a question and we'll have a conversation. Just trying to have a conversation here. Anyways, hello everyone out there in internet land. I seem to see we have a bunch of more viewers than usual. So, quick shout out to Pokemon Go-Yo, Mana-sama, and my boy, Shark Bear Agator Phipps. I finally figured out what your name is. You're a Shark Bear Agator. Like, it's like Man Bear Pig, except it's Shark Bear Alligator, right? For the longest time, I thought it was like agitator or something. Like, I don't know, like you go around and agitate sharks and bears. Oh my god, I've got my mind. Ooh. So, anyways, it is the 5th of May, for anyone who thinks that I'm doing this, like, you know, previously or whatever, I don't know. There's like all these weird weird conspiracies out there about like people streaming, but they're not streaming live and stuff like that, so I don't know, So anyways, I've got my tablet with my list of topics today, but as always, if any of you guys in the chat have a question, I will try to answer it as long as it's not completely and utterly ridiculous. But actually probably better chance of answering them when they are ridiculous. So, the first topic of today that I want to talk about is I'm excited for this. I am a big fan of this anime series, and I am very happy to know that it's coming back for a third season, and that's right, it's Code Geass! Code Geass, one of the best anime series. I just love that one. Lelouch v. Britannia for the win. Lelouch lives! Lelouch lives! Oh, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched Code Geass. But shame on you, it's been like several years. And when I saw that there was a trailer for Season 3, I'm like, what? No way. So I'm watching it on the YouTubes, and I'm like, oh man, it's all the old gang that are still alive. And so, bye, Mana-sama. I will make a note of that Instagram account there. Have a good day, afternoon, night, evening, wherever it is. And goodbye to Skinny Gamer. Just the X's thing, man. Seriously, it's over. The X's in the profile. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want with your profile. I just, triple X, quick scope, snipes, frog, things like that. But going back, and thank you for the good luck. So getting back. So Code Geass. I mean, it's an anime that had an ending. So I was actually kind of surprised to see that they were going to make a third season, because there's a lot of animes that end and it's like, oh, why? I need another season. But I'm pretty happy that there's going to be a third season, because I like that show and it was brilliantly written, and I hope that they keep that wonderfulness together, because some of the shows in the last couple of years have been kind of Anyways, so first question from Pokemon Goyo. Do I have a PS4? No, I do not have a PS4. I'm actually going to talk about that. My next subject, after I'm done with Code Geass, talking about something Sony, some insiders talking about what Sony might be doing to next year. So we'll get to that. As for the pictures, that is pictures of when I went to Japan. It's mostly pictures from the first trip. There, I think maybe were a couple from my second trip that made it in there. And so the first trip was with a bunch of college friends. And up there's me in Adagawa Station with a couple lovely ladies. And gentleman never tells. Anyways, and so that's what that is. The second trip I went with my girlfriend at the time, who also was the one that crushed my soul. So, yeah. Oh, speak of the devil. There she is. Love is good, people, but it can also be bad. So anyway, so that's what that is for Mr. Shark Barrigator. Ips. And so moving back on to Code Geass, it's exciting because that world was an interesting world. If you don't know about it, Britannia was the world superpower, and for some reason it was like kind of in America was Britannia. I guess apparently in this alternate reality the colonies became Britannia, when Europe sort of took over Europe and whatnot, or Europe took over Europe, whatever. There was like this European power and whatnot, and Britannia basically conquered Japan, and what Britannia would do is they would strip the nationalities, the names and stuff like that, and just give it a number. And I think that was like Area 11, I think, if I remember. It's been a while, but so there was this uprising. There was this Britannian prince whose mother was killed, and he was put into exile, and he wanted revenge against that cruel Britannia system, and so he decided to create a terrorist uprising group with the power of Geass. Anyways, it's a great show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Prepare for season 3. I'm excited, and really it got me thinking. It's like, wow, man, it's been a few years, so I was quite surprised, and I thought, could I get some hope that maybe we're gonna get Umineko no Nakokoro ni season 2, right? Or maybe an actual ending to Higurashi no Nakokoro ni Outbreak, right? Or maybe, like, you know, an ending for, what was that, Prism Arc, which was a standard ecchi comedy show in medieval knight and sorcery time, and then all of a sudden became like space aliens and giant mechs in the last episode, and like, this guy's your father, and he's an alien, and she's not the real princess, and that's the end. I'm not really having a mic problem. I'm just not trying to scream real loud, because that just, holy crap. So, yeah, oh my god. And also, Dansai Bunri no Crime Edge. Where's season 2? Season 1 literally ended with the credits rolling, showing what were supposed to be scenes from the next season, where they're going to the, like, class, and like the plot twist of the main villainess now becoming a classmate, and it was like, what? Anyways, another question about will you bring back That's Effed Up? Yes, I am currently working on an episode. I just have to get used to my new video editor, because Windows Live Video Maker is no more. Microsoft decided that, you know what, we're not going to support it anymore, and so I got my new PC, and I can't get it, and I don't want to try to do it on my old PC because it was just crashing and burning too much. But I am working on it. I got my growing pains with it, so it's going to take some time. Plus the fact I've been super busy. I'm always busy. It's just like, oh my goodness, can I get some freaking time off? Oh, work. You're killing me. You're killing me. Anyways, yeah. So I am going to be bringing it back soon. Hopefully in the next few weeks. I keep saying a few weeks, but it's like I've got about a minute of footage so far, and it's like, and I'm like going, oh dang, I gotta do like the last time opening too, and it's been such a long time. I'm like, yeah, I gotta put that together. No, yeah. So yeah, it's taken some time, but I'm definitely trying to work on it. Yeah. I know someone's going to say, well, instead of streaming right now, you could be working on it. But I'm like, well, it's fun. It's kind of killing you to make a living. That's YouTube right there. Killing its creators so that it can make a living. But, so, anyways, really excited about Code Geass. And, I don't know, put a comment in the section, in the chat, or comment below if you're watching this later. Are there any animes that ended, but yet you're like, no, this needs another season. This definitely needs another season. Too many loose ends, ended on a cliffhanger, stuff like that. I mean, Seikon no Quasar. Oh, that needed a season 3. Not only because we love them boobies, but because Meteor rises, which is a weird term to use because usually Meteor falls, but that group Meteor, come on. So Pokemon Go-Yo is live streaming on his other channel called 21 Yo. Blackjack 21, yeah. So hey, are you live streaming and watching this at the same time? Man, I need more bandwidth, man. My internet sucks. So I was like, go check that out. But anyways, if you got the bandwidth, man, go check his live stream while watching my live stream. And I don't know. Stuff like that. Like half the anime I've ever watched. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. A lot of times I just think they make an anime so that they're just either as a reward for fans of the manga or to advertise the manga to people who haven't watched it yet or bought it yet. So it's crazy, but it seems a lot like that, and you're just kind of like, no, I want to watch more. Anyways, so that's it. Like I said, leave a comment, leave it on the chat, and we're going on to number 2, looking on my pad, and that is a reliable source who's been right in the past gave the video game media a message saying that Sony is going to release the PlayStation 5 sometime in 2018. And the only thing I can think of is, why? Sony is dominating the market with the PlayStation 4. Even though it's been a few years, I mean, probably almost 4, it seems like there's not that many games out. And there's a lot of games coming out in the works. And there's a lot of people who've purchased PS4. I mean, Sony is clearly winning the console war this cycle, this generation. And it just doesn't seem like, why would they bother doing something like that? I mean, first of all, it's going to piss off a lot of people with PS4s, especially if Sony does what it normally does and doesn't make it backwards compatible. Also, it's definitely going to piss off some developers, because then they're going to be like, so now I'm going to have to make PS4, PS5. And, you know, depending on the architecture and stuff, it may be like completely different. So if you don't know, on the YouTube, there's a channel called The Know, and it's like gaming news. And they did this story about that. I think it's also on like Kotaku and whatnot. But yeah, so like originally I was gonna buy a PS4 until I heard that Scorpio was coming out, and it was going to be a 4K player, as well as 4K gaming. So I went, okay, I'll wait for Scorpio, because I got an Xbox One, and the only reason I bought the Xbox One was because I had Xbox Live Gold, and so I already had like 1 million games for it. Because they give you free games a month, like 2 free games a month, and after a while you can claim them on the 360, and after a while it's like, I got all these free games. I was able to buy the Xbox One for like $200 at the time, and so I did it. And then it's like, well, so I'm gonna pick up the PS4 too eventually. And then Scorpio was announced, and I'm like, okay. And then they talk about the PS4 Pro, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll buy the PS4 Pro for 4K Blu-ray playing, and also for, you know, some of the games. And then I find out that it doesn't play 4K Blu-rays. And I'm like, what in the world, Sony? What in the world? And then I hear all these problems about having like games not working properly. They have to be patched, and some of the patches break it in different modes, and it's just it was just a kind of a fiasco. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get the Pro, but I might still pick up a PS4. But I'm like, I gotta wait for a game to come out for the PS4 to get me to buy a PS4. And that's a good point. Yes, a lot of the PS4 exclusives are like remasters. Like, you know, there's the God of War remasters, Last of Us remasters. I mean, the Uncharted remasters. I mean, when you think about it, outside of maybe Uncharted 4, or that's really the only thing I can think of, because like Bloodborne, I mean, that's a niche game. I'm sorry, but that game is not like a widespread type of game. It's a very, I mean, I don't want to say like a little audience. It's a big enough audience, but that's a game that I like the aesthetic, but I don't know if I like the gameplay, because I was never really a fan of any of the Souls games. Then you got games like The Order, which was just like cutscene, the video game, which I've also have to admit, The Last of Us was basically cutscene, the video game. But so right now, PlayStation, it seems like it's still in its like infancy of a gaming system, because there's not really all those killer games, and it just seems like Sony, for some reason, is afraid of the Scorpio, I think, and they're feeling pressure, and it almost makes me feel like maybe, even though it's been like a long generation, the last generation with the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but it seemed like, because Nintendo, pushed out the Wii U, and Sony and Microsoft went and go, well, shoot, Nintendo's starting the next generation. Now we've got to scramble, and perhaps they were developing things, and then they had to kick it into high gear, because it almost seems like the Xbox One and the PS4 were sort of unfinished products. And of course, Microsoft did a whole bunch of with just screwed up the launch of the Xbox One and all kinds of stuff with the Kinect, and it would be kind of silly for Sony, though, because they got a dominant footing, to sort of kick off the next generation now, because sometimes when something like that happens, I mean, I think it's smarter for Microsoft to do the Scorpio, because they're behind, and they need to get something and get some momentum and get some things sold. But PS4, they're in good shape. They don't really need to shake anything up. So the problem is, do you end up getting a Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast scenario, where you throw out the Dreamcast so close to the Saturn, and then the Saturn was just abandoned and just pissed off gamers? Sony, you really want to take that risk to kind of alienate your audience by saying, that thing you just bought a couple years ago for that much money, yeah, it's done, it's gone, it's over. Sorry, you lose. But buy our new $600 PS5. It's powerful, but it won't play any of your old games. I don't know. It's a very, very, yeah. Yeah, I know. I had like a lot of friends on 360, but like none of them really carried over to Xbox One. So I get your point of like, you're getting a system, you got your friends, and then you just never talk to them anymore. So sad. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm hoping this guy's wrong, because it just seems like a silly move, and yeah, I don't know. Multiplayer games nowadays are pretty hit or miss. I mean, I still have fun playing the Call of Duties, but some of them are just like, I never have a mic, because I just don't want to hear other people's crap, and there's no real reason to try to talk to people, because there's just a lot of garbage out there. Anyways, so that's The PS5. I mean, well, let's see. If it cures cancer and prints money, maybe I'll buy one. You know, maybe I'll think about it then. I think I'll may just a little bit. I mean, if it's gonna be your new electronic girlfriend, it is a Japanese company. They might actually be thinking about that. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's like that video I saw about that commercial about that virtual home person assistant, and she talks to you when you're at home, and then when you're away she sends you like text messages like, are you coming home soon, honey? Yeah, you get something like a phone. Yeah, I'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Send. Oh, she's waiting for me. I mean, it's the saddest thing. Like, there's a scene where he's coming home and he's looking up to the apartment, and he's like, he's there and he's happy because there's going to be this virtual hologram girlfriend there. And I'm thinking, like, if I was him, I'm like going, this is my life. Oh my God. Where's the nearest liquor store? I'm not sure if it's a problem with oversaturation. I mean, video games always flood the market. Every generation just had shovelware and games galore. And now with the internet and things like demos and all that stuff, you can usually avoid the crap when it comes to games. And honestly, I don't think there are too many multiplayer games. I just don't think there are too many quality multiplayer games. You know, there's some like you go to the multiplayer and you dabble with it. Oh, with consoles? No, you can never have too many consoles. No, you forget. I was from the generation where there was like a billion consoles. Like, I grew up, it was Atari, ColecoVision, and Intellivision, the friggin' Magnavox Odyssey 2. They were all around and they were duking it out. Even when Nintendo came out, there was the 7800 and the Master System. I mean, just having like 2 or 3, you know, it's not too much. Maybe 5. How many survived to this day? Well, none of those systems survived to this day. They were replaced by other better systems. Some, well, arguably better systems. But things like companies like Atari, you know, they went out of like the consoles and into software because they got, you know, they went bankrupt and they got bought out, and that was due to bad, horrible business practices and decision making and poor quality control. Sega screwed themselves, and that's why they're not making consoles anymore, because they made a bunch of bad business decisions and end up deep sixing their console making. I mean, you had a whole bunch of, like, there was a time where you had Philips and you had, oh God, I can't think of the other ones, but there was like a whole bunch trying to make consoles. But what they did was they screwed it up. But the thing is, the fact that they were out there actually helped the other manufacturers see mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And I think it was better. You know, people say E.T., but it was actually Pac-Man that killed the Atari 2600. Pac-Man killed the Atari 2600. That thing was atrocious. It was a slap in the face. And they made like how many millions of those things? Oh, it was not cool at all. Not cool at all. But getting off on the consoles. I think the more consoles that get pushed out, the better it is, because ideas get out there, and if you have strong manufacturers making good consoles, you just create this fight in this market. And I think the fact that you've seen the ebb and flow between the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, with the price going down, and then you've got like the improvements Microsoft making and stuff like that. It's like, they saw what they did wrong, they see what Sony did right, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to try to fix the issues. I think Nintendo's a little weird, but I think their mistake with the Wii U informed them on what they need to do, and the strength of their mobile gaming with the DS, 3DS, and all that stuff led to the Switch, because everyone loves their mobile platforms, and so they would think, maybe if we make a console, but it's also portable, we can hit people that way. And so far it's worked. So far it's worked. Too bad there's like 3 games on it, but anyways. So that's all I really got to say about that one. I'll get myself a little drink of the little water there. So moving on to the next subject. So the other day I saw a trailer for a movie. Now, I knew this movie was being made, but I didn't know how. I mean, I wasn't really following it to know how close it was to being made. And I saw the trailer and was like, oh man, this looks pretty cool, for me anyways. And that is The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower, based on the Stephen King's epic book series. I mean, it's Stephen King's Lord of the Rings type of set of books and whatnot. But it appears there's a bit of a backlash to this movie. Now, I'm gonna, full disclosure, I've not read any of the Dark Tower books. Reading, see, everything takes time, and reading seems to take a lot more time. But I've only read like maybe 3 of Stephen King's novels. Four Past Midnight, which is, I guess, some short stories. Read The Dark Half. Read Carrie. And Misery. So, but I don't know. It's just like the idea, like the gunslinger and the Dark Tower, and the idea that this might be like the start of some grand epic that I could possibly get into. I did not read it, but I did see the original television miniseries. We all float down here. And I've never really been afraid of clowns. So, like, it really, I mean, when I hear people are afraid of clowns and find them creepy, I'm weirded out by that, because I'm like, clowns are funny, man. Clowns are hilarious. I am not afraid of clowns. I see a clown and I'm like going, it's a clown. Yes, Tim Curry. Yes. Anyways, but no, I was excited about the possibilities for this movie. Sure, everyone's going, "Ooh, the CG fest." Well, whatever. If it's done well, if I like the story, if I like the action, it looks like the action is going to be pretty cool. Idris Elba doing the reloading stuff just reminded me of that one anime series. I can't remember, but she's like keeps like the bullets in her cleavage, and she just and then loads her revolver with it. I don't know. I think you've probably seen that the animated GIF file floating around the internet for a billion years. But they were first, yeah, it reminded me of that. But just the whole idea, Matthew McConaughey playing kind of like this cool devil dude. I thought, I like it, and I'm interested. Now I definitely want to go out and check it out. But yeah, there's like some backlash because they're like saying, how can it be, just one movie, and why is the Dark Tower there, and why are they going to, the real world and stuff like this. So I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be like a loose adaptation probably. But I mean, without just, making a 12-hour movie or a mini-series, you're going to make a series of films, but you need to make that first film stick domestically and internationally so that you can carry on with more sequels. So, yeah, I don't know about that. But then they're also talking about like Idris Elba isn't supposed to be playing the gunslinger because the gunslinger in the book's supposed to look like Clint Eastwood. And like, yeah, sure, but Idris Elba is a cool mofo, man. He's I think he's great for the role, and I don't mind we talk about things like whitewashing and whatnot. Like I don't mind, switching the race or even switching the gender as long as it's the right fit. Like for instance, the Magnificent Seven remake. Denzel Washington is great. Denzel Washington is awesome. I still haven't watched the Magnificent Seven movie yet, but well, and that's a good point. He is, even if he doesn't look like Clint Eastwood, he definitely channels Clint Eastwood in that trailer. So that's a good point, the guys you're making there. But and see, that's the thing. It's like with Ghostbusters, none of them fit. None of them worked in that way. And the whole like Ocean's 11, I mean, they're gonna make it all with women. And when you do something like that, where it's like you don't just swap one character or two characters here, but when you change everything, first of all, it reeks of just some PC BS. It's like you're doing that just to pander. You're doing that to be part of the selling point, which is sad because it means what you have as a movie probably isn't good enough to stand on its own. So you need to like put, this extra slant on it. Like, I mean, a Ghostbusters reboot could have worked with different actors and actresses if they didn't just try to hammer it's all female now because it was all male last time, so now it's all women. I mean, you could have sprinkled in two, maybe three women characters, still have a guy Ghostbuster. I think a lot of the problems was bad script and bad jokes and out of place characters. I mean, it was not funny enough. I mean, there was some funny parts here and there, but most of it was like, oh my god, why? But that's the point. The point is, let's start with a good movie, and then get the casting, and let's get good casting, and then boom. If you need to like add some stuff up to it, that's it. But anyways, so I'm really excited about the upcoming Dark trailer, Dark Tower. If you haven't watched it, watch the YouTube trailer for that. And man, there's quite a few movies I'm looking forward to. Heck, there's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I think I'm gonna watch tomorrow or sometime soon. So that's coming up. The Thor movie. There's just so many movies coming up. So little time, so little money. But we're gonna move on. And the next thing I want to talk about is the YouTube ad apocalypse. It is upon us. Oh my goodness. you know things have gotten bad when the Call of Duty YouTube community is getting smacked with the demonetizations now. You know the world has gone mad because that was the thing that got a lot of people into YouTube back when Call of Duty 4 came out, and people were just not streaming it, but putting up videos on that. Modern Warfare 2. I mean, those things blew up. People started going on YouTube all the time to like watch videos, show their montages, all that stuff. It exploded. I witnessed it firsthand, and you know, it entered. You know, it sort of just pushed gaming into YouTube and made it sort of like a viable thing to do. And now it's like you know things have gotten so bad with YouTube that now the stuff that got like a lot of views, that got a lot of advertisers, that created whole entire networks is now getting ban-hammered for monetization, and it's just horrible. And I don't think YouTube is going to change it, because YouTube's plan is not what you see here. YouTube's plan is not me. It's not you. It's not your. It's not PewDiePie. It's not the No Game News. It's not Philip DeFranco. It's not the anti-SJWs. It's not the rebel medias. It is YouTube Red. Dude, it's not smash that like button, it's titty smack that like button. But no, yeah, but point, Netflix and chill. I mean, the future of YouTube that YouTube wants is not even YouTube Red, it's YouTube TV, where it's basically like Sling TV, where you'll have channels from like the major networks and the major media things. Because you find it funny that this Adpocalypse has not hit any of the major media channels, like CNN's channels, MSNBC's channel, BBC, those places. No, they're not going to be demonetized ever. Like I've once said in a different video, they could upload a video of them like chopping off the head of a goat and then skull screwing it. Oh, you can't say the F word because, oh man, demonetized. But yeah, they could defile its corpse, take a crap on it, and then maybe go have sex with a bunch of hookers and then shoot them. And that would be perfect advertising friendly material. I mean, like, or what is that? What is that? Vivo. Any video put out by any hip hop artist or R&B artist, like any Nicki Minaj song, or God, what the hell, her name, who used to be, Miley Cyrus, any of their videos, which are based like borderline pornography, those will never be age restricted and never be unmonetizable, because man, we need that money. But you put the words World War II in the title of your Call of Duty video. No, that's not advertiser friendly at all. That is definitely not, because I don't know why I thought World War II was the only acceptable war on this planet. But so yeah, it's crazy. It seems like YouTube is just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing people away from their service to the point where the regular YouTube won't exist anymore, or if it does, it's be such a small part of its overall operations. And I think that's why they're not really caring too much about the demonetizations right now, because they're looking at subscription plans and they're going to think they're going to get their money from YouTube TV, and they're not going to need the ad revenue from partner channels on regular YouTube, because they're going to be hitting up this premium stuff. And you know, YouTube Red is part of the YouTube TV package. So yeah, they're just really hitting that, and that's their plan. I think that's what they're going to plan. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, once they hit a certain part of subscribers and stuff, they might just kill YouTube altogether and just be YouTube TV, and that's the end. That's the end for anyone, you know, who just wants to be heard. You know, like for instance, my whole point of like doing this stuff is like, hey, I want to have a conversation. I want to talk to people about stuff that I like and want to talk about. But I also wanted to kind of be known and maybe use that to do something else with my existence. But I never thought about making actual money. And of course, with the content and everything the way it is, I will never be able to make any money here. But it was never, you know, I mean, if I was, it was always going to be like, you know, just a little bit extra to like put back into the channel, to upgrade stuff, upgrade cameras, microphones, things like that. Or, you know, or just have a little bit extra spending cash so that, you know, I can get some more movies to talk about on the movie, or, you know, maybe get a capture card and do that gaming. Oh, but that's taboo now. Even though you could, you know, blow up entire villages and beat people with your bare hands on Minecraft, that's still A-okay, because it's rated E, I think, right? E for everyone. Even though you're being horribly attacked by zombies and spiders and skeletons and things that go and explode. But anyways, I ain't going red till I'm dead. Yes. Better dead than red is a good mantra. So anyways, enough of my usual ranting and raving about YouTube, the place that eliminated my That's Fucked Up playlist from my channel. Oh, so bad. E for equal. So, moving on to the next thing, and this one's going to be just a real quick thing. You ever hear the movie Rings that came out last year, or not last year, but earlier this year, and was kind of got a lot of mixed reviews? And it was the Blu-ray came out, and I picked up the Blu-ray, and what's cool about the Blu-ray for Rings, because I'm a big fan of the Rings series, and I want to go watch it, but why I picked up the Blu-ray is because it comes with a digital copy of both the original Ring and Ring 2, which is kind of hard to find right now. I liked the Ring 2, even though, yes, it wasn't as great a movie as the Ring, and then we're talking about the American movies here. But getting a digital copy is pretty cool. So you're really getting 3 movies for the price of one, and you know, a lot of places during the week that it comes out, they'll have it on sale. So it's a really cool bargain. Sure, they're digital copies, but still having like a digital and hopefully high def copy of the original Ring and Ring 2 will be super sweet, since I have not found either on Blu-ray yet. I'm sure the original Ring is somewhere out there on Blu-ray, but I haven't found it. But so I just wanted to quickly talk about that, because, you know, hey, still a horror channel, still talk about horror movies, and I think that's a really good deal. So in America, at least, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world. I was actually looking at my demographics the other week, and even though the highest percentage of viewers from one country is the United States, the highest percentage from a continent was Asia. I mean, Asia. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but so the majority of my fans are Asian, or fans, followers, subscribers, whatever. So I don't know why I'm speaking in English. I should start speaking in Chinese, because that's the most populous Asian language. So, ni hao, habo hao, wash your Zankoku. I don't know how you say Zankoku in Chinese, but I mean, I guess I could figure out the same word it is. I'd have to look that up. Oh, anyways, 明天见. So, no, I only know a little. Like, 我说一点汉语，普通话，普通话，说一点普通话。Not Beijing dialect. Don't know the Guangzhou dialect. So, anyways, everyone subbed to your channel is Indian. That's cool. That's cool. But no, going back to your earlier question there, Shark Barrigator. The Ring sequel was this year. It was supposed to come out last year, but got pushed back, and then came out this year at the beginning. I think around maybe February or January-ish. So yeah, it did happen, and it was out in theaters for like 2 weeks. So yeah, it didn't do too well. But I'm a fan of the Ring series. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to enjoy it, even if it's bad. And you're going to get those two movies that at least I myself know. The Ring, spectacular. The Ring 2, still enjoyable to me. So that's pretty cool. Just wanted to throw that out there. So we're moving on to the next thing. And this is something I heard on the news. And I went, what? I don't know. I don't know if I can pronounce what he's saying. Vivire cerca del río en la caja de cartón. Right? Did I pronounce that correctly? I don't know if I did. Vivire cerca or cerca del río en la caja de cartón. I could totally have just been swearing and telling, you guys to screw off, or pledging my allegiance to some terrorist organization, because I have no idea what that means. Fortunately for me, when you study foreign languages, a lot of the pronunciation can be very similar from one language to another. And it's bad starting with American English because we pronounce things so weirdly. But so yeah, I can usually pronounce. I live in a box near the river. How did you know? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to move my box. I don't want no people coming up on me during my off time. Oh man. I'm going to have to move my box away from the river now. Thanks, you let the secret out. You let it out. Anyway. I don't know, it was one of those things like speaking of like a Spanish phrase is like, ¿Dónde está mi pantalones? Like, or isn't that like, where is my pants? Anyways. But going back to what I was talking about, it's like, so I saw this, I heard this, I heard this story, and I just couldn't believe it, and it just kind of brought to mind like the whole thing about protesting nowadays, and it was a group of people wanted to protest Donald Trump, President Trump, going back to New York for some reason or not. So they wanted to get a bunch of people to go to the Trump Towers, or tower, and at like 6 p.m. start urinating on it. I mean, urinating on a building in public. I mean, I just it gets so ridiculous. I'm sorry, protesters out there. You are not doing your cause any good by what you're doing, because you are just embarrassing yourselves and pissing off the regular people. Pissing off, if not pissing on, the regular people who you're supposed to be trying to win over to your cause so that you can actually change stuff. I mean, it just reminds me of the whole, like, when that immigration thing happened and people were going to airports to protest and they were blocking the airports and people weren't able to get on their flights or leave the airport and stuff like that. And I'm like going, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just pissing people off. You're being a nuisance. It's like when they block a busy intersection or an on-ramp or an off-ramp to a highway. I mean, who are you trying to rally to your cause? I mean, certainly not the 20 people trying to get off the highway that you're blocking. And then, of course, like all the people who were inconvenienced at the airport because of delayed flights, not being able to get to where they need to go. Sorry, they're not going to be sympathetic to your cause. In fact, you're going to be pushing them the other way, but because you're just being assholes. So I don't get it. I don't get these ridiculous things that you're doing. Peeing on a building. I mean, that's what a 4-year-old does when he's pissed off and he knows he can't, like, do anything. So what does he do? He'll just whip it out and start peeing on something or pee on you. Or like I'm upset because I didn't get that new toy. All over the place. It's just horrible. Horrible. I don't get it. We go from, taking the seat in the front of the bus. We go from, breaking into a shipyard and throwing tea off of a boat. We go from standing in front of armed soldiers to pissing on a building. Peeing in the name of freedom. But the problem is they don't want freedom. They don't want freedom. They're pissing in the name of authoritarianism. They just want the authoritarian of their choosing. Because that's what these people, they're definitely going to be part of that social justice movement. They have to be. And so, they want the speech codes, and they want the safe spaces, and they want the all-powerful government to do what they want to have done and remove all their opposition. But they are doing it in a stupid way that, like high schoolers are going to find funny and go, ha, that's pretty cool. But you're not going to get respect for it. You're not going to win anyone over for it. And you know what? You're going to be arrested and charged with indecent exposure for it. And in some places, I don't know how New York is, but you might end up becoming a registered sex offender for doing it. So, yeah, I mean, it's stupid. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? The protests were to show the absurdity of the opposition. They were to show the tyranny of what was going on. And now it's just showing how ridiculous you can be. So yeah, it's so dumb. But I needed to talk about it because I'm like, in a way, that's fucked up. Roll credits. But no, oh god, they're just wow. It's just ridiculous. So moving on to the final two topics of today, and that the next one. Wait, are the women going to use funnels? No, actually, I think they wanted men to do it because they are naturally equipped with hoses, and this is probably the only time that this group will probably acknowledge the differences between men and women. Probably the only time. And actually, use biological sex. Oh my god. I have an invader. Every episode, something's got to go on. My nephew, he lives across the street. You've seen him before on the first episode. He just shows up randomly whenever he wants. I should lock my door. I mean, one time it's just gonna be like a murderer or something, Some guy's gonna be here with a gun and I'm gonna be dead. But anyways, getting back is like no, they're trying to get men to be allies to pee on the building because otherwise, yeah. I mean, women. I mean, they can do it. I've seen videos where so they have to get into like the crab position. If you know what I mean. And just project, drink lots and lots of fluids, ladies. There is a site. Oh my goodness, that's a viral video waiting to happen, but not monetizable on YouTube unless it was covered by CNN. Then yeah, all that ad money. But so it's just ridiculous. But I'm moving on. The Defenders trailer dropped just a couple days ago, or the other day, or whatever. And, I talked about the Iron Fist, and I looked and it was like, of course they're bringing back Elektra. We got Sigourney Weaver as that mysterious lady leader of the Hand. And everyone's coming together, and they're going to start kicking some ass. So, yeah, I am pumped. I am amped for the street-level Avengers, the Defenders, the Justice League Marvel. I don't know. I'm seriously excited for that. I don't know if anyone else is excited, but I'm going to have to set apart some time to binge watch that. So I'm excited about that. The Defenders. It looks like maybe the guy who plays Danny Rand has gotten a little bit more training. So hopefully the action will be a bit better. I mean, it's easier to have Daredevil be a stuntman because his face is pretty much covered, and they just need some guy who looks kind of like him with a beard. And Luke Cage doesn't have to do anything except, absorb bullets and then punch a guy through a building. And the same thing for I'll catch it if it's on. What is that supposed to mean? It's a Netflix show. What do you mean? I mean, like, I'm just going to be, like, browsing Netflix and it'll just randomly be on and I'll flip it? Like I don't know. Usually that phrase, I catch it if it's on, is like I'm flipping through the channels on television and like, oh, hey, there's the Defenders. I don't know, man. Is there a Netflix channel where you live? That would be kind of weird. But anyways, moving on. And of course, Jessica Jones doesn't have to do anything because she doesn't need hand-to-hand combat skills because she's super powerful. So yeah, it's like really, Iron Fist needs to get that mask so his stunt double can like do some work. Catch these hands. So, anyways, moving on to the last topic because we're going on a little over an hour now. And the last topic was kind of related to last episode. We were talking about my top 10 movies for now. And guy who was here asked a question about, like, there's, like, no comedies on there. And, yeah, comedies are hard. Hard thing to quantify sometimes. But it got me thinking, and I've been watching some old clips here and there. And Airplane, the movie Airplane. Is Airplane the greatest comedy of all time? And I know there's like a lot of competition. I mean, you've got things like Blazing Saddles. You've got things like History of the World Part 2, I think. You've got the original Ghostbusters. You know, there's quite a few comedies out there, but I don't know. I think just Airplane. Yes, Airplane. Just the way it just does things, I think, is just perfect as a comedy, because yes, it's forcing jokes, because that's the whole point. Is that the whole thing is ridiculousness, and I think it's that level because it's a satire movie about those disaster films. Because I think before that there was like Airport 70 something that came out, and I think that was like one of the big influencers. There was also this other movie that was black and white, was also a big influence on it. But the way that they had everyone playing it, I think they had everyone playing it seriously, knowing it's a joke, but not, you never really get that, I'm goofy and stuff like that, except for that one guy who was in the tower. He was like, hey, what do you make of this? Well, I can make a hat, I can make a brooch, I can, that guy was playing ridiculous, but I think that was because that was what his character was supposed to do. But I think everyone else just plays it so dead on that it just pops the hilarity. I mean, just so much going on in that movie. You have to watch it several times to get everything, and it's just so fun. I mean, like they're in the tower, and the plane is coming on approach, and the tower's like, "Should we put the landing lights on, sir?" And he's like, "No, that's exactly what they expect us to do." It's like, what is going on? It's like they're talking is like what did you serve for dinner on the flight? It's like, oh, we had a choice between chicken and fish, and the doctor goes, oh yes, I remember, I had the lasagna. Just like just the ridiculous, It's like the lady is like ill, and the doctor is like, it's like we need to land this plane now. This lady needs to go to the hospital. And the stewardess is like, a hospital? What is it? It's like, well, it's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. Yeah, and of course, and Leslie Nielsen. Before that time, he did Police Squad, yeah. But before that time, Leslie Nielsen was considered just like this dramatic actor, and pretty much the other people also, the big. Some of the other guys, you had the guy from Mission Impossible television show. Was it Peter Graves, I think? And a couple other, Lloyd Bridges. Those were all serious actors. And to have them play these roles and hit the timing. I mean, Leslie Nielsen. Of course, now we know how awesome Leslie Nielsen is in comedy because he's done it so much. But before that, just the mastery of like hitting everything so perfectly. I wonder how many thousands of takes they needed to do for that stuff. But it's a magical movie, and every time I watch it, it's just so enjoyable and funny. And even though I know the jokes and I can almost say them line for line, they still hit you. And I think that's probably one of the things that would make a great comedy. is that it can still do that. You can know the punchline, you can know it's coming, and it still gets you because it's just it's funny and it's cool and it's still timely. And it's just it's a great movie, and it's hard for me to think of a movie comedy better than Airplane. But what do you guys think? Leave comments in the comment section, because I know the majority of people who are going to be watching this are going to be watching this late. No, my God, an hour in. I don't know how many people are going to be watching this, but yeah, I'm going to have to check on the Invader kid. And it's been over an hour, so it's been a great conversation. Great talking to you, Shark Barrigator Phipps. Also, shout outs to Pokemon Go. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Yeah. Pokemon Go. Yeah. Also, Skinny Gamer and Manasama. So, good talking to you. Anyone else who watching, feel free to chat. Feel free to chat. I'm a nice guy, right? Am I a nice guy? Or am I really just like mean and evil? But yeah, I gotta get going. The throat's getting kind of dried out. And yeah, and then I made it through my list. Oh, it's crazy. And I didn't get totally derailed. So yeah, Pokemon Go, yo. Anyways, I don't know if he's still streaming on his channel or whatever, but he makes some gameplay videos, but shaky cam. He's got to make a makeshift sort of tripod thing. Like, I made some videos using my cell phone, trying to take a picture of gameplay on a TV, and I created like this box thing that I could put it on so I didn't have to hold it and stuff. Anyways, that's just a little constructive criticism there. But until next time, everybody, this has been the Zankoku Tenshi Show. I'm Zankoku. You are not. Stay sexy, Internet. Stay sexy, Internet. Stay sexy. Sexy, sexy. Stay sexy, Internet. And I will see you next time. Yeah.